All right, what is up, fans, friends, and students? Today we are going to be doing phase one of pen turning. We're going to be marking, cutting, and drilling, and that'll take us through the first phase of making our pens.
All right, starting out, we're going to grab a pen blank. We're going to grab our pen kit, and from the pen kit, we're going to grab the brass tubes. These are what we're going to use to measure where we're going to cut on our blank. I go ahead and put the edge of the tube up to the edge of the blank, then I'll make a mark on the other end of the tube, maybe about a 1/4 inch past the end to give me a little room for air. From that mark I'll draw a line, and from that line I'll do the same thing. I'm going to put the end of the tube up to that line now, and mark a line just past the other end of that tube. From that mark I'll draw a line, and then I like to mark an X because it helps me remember that the cube is just going to be waste and I'm not going to need it later. For this next step, we're going to head over to the bandsaw. Now when we get to the bandsaw, and if we see the guard is all the way up here like it is now, we're going to have to adjust it to be able to make our cuts safely. So we're going to grab that knob in the back and loosen it. This allows for the guard to be adjusted. It's a little bit sticky and doesn't move super smoothly, so if it feels like it's getting stuck, that's totally normal. The best way to do this is to bring your workpiece right under the guard and then bring the guard down until it touches the blank. Once it's touching, we just need to raise it about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch and we'll be good to go. Now that we're ready to go ahead and press the start button. Press it really firmly and make sure it gets up to full speed. Go ahead and cut right along those two lines. Make sure to keep your fingers at least 2 inches away from the blade at all times, and keep your hands out of the line of the blade. At this point, we need to find the center on each of the ends of our blanks. To do this, we'll need a straight edge, something like a ruler, and then a pencil. We'll take our ruler and we'll line it up diagonally, corner to corner, mark a line, and then do the same thing with the opposite corners. This will create an X, and that X marks the center of the end of that blank. We'll need to do the same thing on the second blank, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here. The next step will be over at the drill press, and we're going to use this little contraption. This is called a vise. We're going to use it to hold the blanks while we drill a hole through the center of each of them. Just make sure it's tight and make sure the corners are lined up diagonally into those slots. I'm going to go ahead and clear all the dust off of the table. I'm going to hold the vise firmly with my left hand. Before I turn the drill press on, I'm going to make sure that the drill is going straight into the center. Once I know that that's lined up, I can go ahead and start making my cut. And notice that I'm not making the cut all in one. I'm doing just a little bit at a time. This is to prevent the drill bit from heating up. We don't want our workpiece to start smoking or possibly create a fire, so that's why we do that.
All right, that takes us through phase one of making our pens. We now have 2 blanks that have been drilled through. This is prepping us for phase 2, which is gluing the brass tubes into these pens, barrel trimming on that drill press over there, and then mounting our pens on the lathe. See you there.